Alright, let's do this. Eric Arnold, Tuesday the 23rd, February, somewhere in the middle of the night. Recap our horrible, shitty Monday. 1 win, 3 losses. And, well, we got probably 10 losing picks for you here on Tuesday. So, yeah, I mean, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get this over with. Where are we at? Losing picks for Monday. My model says, Citadel, Syracuse, they probably had a 56% chance of winning. Both got blown out, crushed, never in it. Yeah, it's just frustrating. It's just, it's like, just really frustrating. And, I actually managed to get the right answer there with USC. But then, of course, canceled out by my foolishness taking Texas Tech. I guess maybe I should start taking notes on these teams, because I remember thinking at some point in the past, Texas Tech plays a lot of hero ball. That was my observation tonight. It was like Oklahoma State. They would pass the ball, and then they would go to their strength inside where they had guys that could score at the basket. And they were doing business there at the basket. Whereas Texas Tech, they were just grinding for every freaking possession, trying to get a good shot. Usually it was mostly Mac McClung playing hero ball, where he'd go 1 on 8 and then try to hit an open guy. You think he'd be able to find a guy with 3 guys around him, but he couldn't. And, I knew this, that's what pisses me off. I don't blame Texas Tech, I blame myself, because, I should have known this. There's a reason these guys are now, 7 wins, 15 losses against the spread. So, I don't know. I'm really just frustrated right now. So, we've got 10 games for you here Tuesday. Well, let's get to them. Ohio. That's an early game. Taking the home team here. For the life of me, I can't remember why. There's a reason, and I just don't know what it was. See, I don't take a lot of notes. It takes enough time as it is to put these videos together, so maybe some things just get omitted, like notes. But at any rate, I guess I had Ohio earlier in the year, and they got killed. They have a marginal NBA player. I think the reason I took them was that they have a freshman that's now starting to really do business. And I think maybe that's it, that I think there's a little hidden value here with Ohio in that it's a team maybe I believe is improving from what it was earlier in the year. So you're only laying 2 points here at home. We've got a pretty good coach. Our Akron has a pretty good coach too, but I think that's the thinking there, that Ohio is on the upswing. So we'll take Ohio. Georgia State, I don't know much about the Sun Belt, but Georgia State's been at home now for a good long time, and I always look for those long home stretches where I think that sets the team into a really good rhythm, and they're playing well. Appy State's nothing special, so this feels like a nice spot for Georgia State to just keep their rhythm going and get a nice workmanlike 10-point win. So, laid 6.5 at home with Georgia State. UMass 8.5 on the road against Richmond. It's just another one of these where you're getting a bunch of points in conference, and that's all I got for you there. I think they're coming off a huge layoff, so who knows? COVID special. This one I actually feel pretty good about. I stopped stratifying the games because I have just, in this no precedent time we're in, I have no confidence in these picks. I just have I can't hang my hat and say, well, historically speaking, Historically speaking, none of this happens. Teams don't take 3 weeks off in the middle of the damn season. Shit doesn't happen. But, so, I'm just making them all one-star games, my least amount of confidence. If I had any confidence, I'd probably put 2 stars on this game. I'm just going to say, is Michigan State back? No, I'm going to say no. We got toasted today because Duke beat us. Well, Duke had won a couple in a row. I think Michigan's won 1 in a row. They beat Indiana. Whoopee. Do it again, Michigan State. Do it again. They've been playing teams like Illinois that in the Big Ten this year. Michigan State's been getting beat routinely by 10 points or more. Just routinely. So, yeah, Illinois, they just coasted and beat Northwestern by 7 points. And I think Northwestern and Michigan State are pretty similar. So, Illinois was coasting and they beat them. So I think Illinois, if they're at all interested, ought to win this one by 15 easy. So we'll lay the 6 with Illinois. Excuse me a moment. Oh. Just need to stretch my back. TCU, we're going to take them. I don't know. I think West Virginia might be a little overrated and ripe for a upset, if you will. And they got incredibly lucky at Texas over the weekend. And, TCU's won a couple games here. They're not playing totally terrible. So you're getting a decent number of points there. This could be another low-scoring Big 12 slugfest in the 60s, possibly. So, those 7.5 points, that might go further than you think. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a chance at West Virginia. West Virginia traditionally just doesn't play that well on the road. Now, this is like a totally different year, and this is the year that they're, I guess Bob Huggins is, his slap hack and slash style is succeeding in fanless arenas. But don't know. Maybe the officials might think about that. The Big 12 may have thought, you know what, we really should have called that foul at the end there of that Texas game. Maybe that one will come back to bite him here at TCU. So, take TCU. Florida. We're going to take Florida over Auburn. We were all excited about Auburn about 6 weeks ago. I thought, wow, this rookie no one's talking about, this freshman, Sharif Cooper, is making this team so good. And they really played pretty well for a few games with them. Now they're terrible. They can't get out of their own way. They're just getting hammered. They get destroyed by somebody. I forget who. LSU, I think. So I don't know, Auburn. I think there's something wrong with that team. It's not meshing the way it should be. And, maybe part of it's Cooper, in other words, one and done, and, the guy might not, maybe, who knows? I don't want to point fingers where I don't know where to point them, so all I know, Auburn's not playing well. And Florida, they're just quietly playing pretty good ball. So I think we'll go ahead and just see if Florida can't steal an upset up there in Alabama at Auburn. So we'll take Florida. Penn State, we're going to lay 6.5 on the road with Penn State. This is interesting. I thought, well, this would be a nice test of, Ken Pomeroy's rankings. Pomeroy has Penn State ranked 35, and they're like 5 games under 500. Every team Nebraska's played this year, with the exception of Penn State. Every team they played this year with a ranking similar to Penn State in that 40, 30, 25 range, they've lost by, 8 points or more. It's just been, they can't handle them. They can't handle them. So, let's see what happens. Pomeroy says Penn State's as good as those type of teams. The record doesn't support it, but Penn State plays all these really good teams pretty close. So let's see what happens. I'm going to say go ahead. Penn State's going to get a few good big wins here, and lay a 6.5. Washington. I had this team earlier near, and they were terrible, just a dead team. But now it almost looks like this coach is planning to save his job here. He had gotten a vote of confidence from the ADs in, I think, the last year of his contract. He's been terrible, Mike Hopkins. But here at the 11th hour, his team's playing better. I think they've covered like 4 out of the last 5 games. They only lost to UCLA by 3 points. They actually beat a couple teams. Beat Washington State. They beat California. So now they're getting 8 points from a really not very good Arizona State team. I think we can go ahead and take Washington here. I think they're going to show up. And Arizona, who knows what... they had it. Arizona had UCLA beat. That game was over. Arizona had them. And somehow they just frittered it away and lost by a point. So, maybe Arizona State's just a little down because of that. I don't know. So we'll take Washington. UConn and Georgetown. This is just kind of a reflexive... I see Georgetown, and I'm always of the mindset of play against them. I just, like I said before, Patrick Ewing is probably a fine humanitarian, and is probably very good to his mother, but I don't think of much of him as a basketball coach. He hasn't done a whole lot yet. Maybe he's going to do more at some point. Maybe he'll start by kicking my ass tomorrow or tonight. Probably will. But until then, we're going to go ahead and bet against him. Dan Hurley kind of needs this game. Yeah, let me see. Make sure I got my Hurley straight. Bobby Hurley, Arizona State. Dan Hurley, UConn. He's got some easy games here that should get him into the tournament, but he can't step on his deck. You got to get this game, Hurley. And it wouldn't hurt if you won by, 10 points or more to make it look good. So, I'm going to say he's going to do it. I'm going to say he's going to get it done. We're now in, game 3 of them bringing back their NBA guy this boat night. So, yeah, I think they're just going to have too much for Georgetown. And then lastly, I really hate this game, but I did it. I had it written down before I really even thought about it. I guess I'm automatically playing against Texas just because I think there's total dysfunction on this team. Good Lord, you got a 20-point lead. You got guys yelling at each other in the huddle, guys woofing and threatening. I wish they'd just let them go. I wish their other teammates hadn't, jumped in there. I wanted to see how far these guys would take it. Would it be a total throwdown, I'm going to try to kill you fight? I think it would have been. That's what I kind of, the vibe I was getting there, is that these guys were really going to go. Now, how do you get past that? I don't know. The people I've wanted to kill in my lifetime, no, I wouldn't want to play basketball with them just a handful of days later. I know I wouldn't at all. So I don't know how you get past that. So that's what I'm hoping, is that Texas just doesn't play well because they hate each other. It wouldn't be the first time in the history of sports that a team has played well that hates each other. But I think all things being equal, it's easier if you like each other on a team than you don't like each other. Kansas, Texas killed these guys up at Lawrence. I mean, a historic kick your face in loss. And I just think Kansas, historically, Kansas would be the kind of team that come and stick it up your nose and not put up with that. It's like, we're going to get some vengeance. So that's where I was at. It's like, all right, well, let's just do what we always do. Just say Kansas is going to get revenge here. Because generally they don't let, the lesser teams of the Big 12 get one over on them. So this would be a spot where Kansas, comes in and puts Texas in its place. Who knows? So feel free to fade those if you like. You won't hurt my feelings. You can read them for yourself. I'm not going to read them up again. Well, maybe we'll have a good night. It helps when you win. That picks my energy up, makes me feel better. It's hard to do this when you're losing. It's just no fun. But tomorrow's another day. Some of those don't feel too bad. The Illinois, the TCU, I like those. Penn State, Washington, I like that. Hell, even UConn, I like that. Georgia State, the model said there was like a 60% chance they were going to kill Appy State. So, the model hasn't been right since the pandemic started, but, just saying. At any rate, all right, thanks for being here. Do appreciate you. Thanks for putting up with my sad mood. And we'll talk again tomorrow. See ya.